This week on Healthy Living, how is the global outbreak of monkeypox evolving in Africa? We take a look. Health officials in the DRC implement measures to combat monkeypox. Plus, a clinic in Senegal tackles opioid addiction to lower the incidence of HIV. We'll have these stories and more in this edition of Healthy Living. Hello and welcome to Healthy Living. I'm Linor Moudou. The global monkeypox outbreak is on the decline for the first time in a month, according to the World Health Organization. WHO says the epidemic is slowing in Europe, where a combination of effective public health measures, behavior change, and vaccination are helping to prevent transmission. Over 45,000 people have been infected with monkeypox in nearly 100 countries. The virus causes fever, chills, rash, and lesions on the face or genitals. Most people can recover within several weeks without requiring hospitalization. Nations worldwide are scrambling to buy enough supply of the monkeypox vaccine. Production of the most advanced vaccine, manufactured by Danish company Bavarian Nordic, has been strained due to rising demand. WHO and Africa CDC officials have raised concerns about the lack of vaccine supply in Africa, where the virus is endemic. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, several provinces are affected by the monkeypox outbreak. More than 2,000 cases have been recorded in the country, according to the National Monkeypox Control Program. A vaccine trial is underway in the country, along with other measures to contain the virus. Here is more with Alex Kati Katayi in Kinshasa.
Dr. Placide Mbala is an epidemiologist at the National Institute of Biomedical Research in Kinshasa. He's part of the team working on monkeypox. Here, he outlines the history of this viral disease.
The virus itself was first detected in 1958 in Denmark, and the first human case was first identified in the DRC in 1970. And since then, there have been sporadic outbreaks of monkeypox, whether in the DRC or in other countries such as the Republic of Congo, the Central African Republic, Liberia, Nigeria, and other countries in Central and West Africa.
Since its appearance in the DRC, monkeypox has become endemic. It is prevalent in the forest regions and those neighboring the Congo Basin. According to the World Health Organization, monkeypox is generally transmitted to humans through close contact with an infected person or an animal, or with material contaminated with the virus. The affected person can develop the disease within 2 to 4 weeks after being infected.
Afterwards, you really have a sign which is very characteristic. It is a swelling of lymph nodes, which is often located in the cervical lymph nodes, and which can even give complications such as abscesses in these lymph nodes. Then we have skin lesions that initially appear as macules, which progress to papules, which become scabs.
The Ministry of Health's National Monkeypox Control Program says a vaccine is currently being tested in the DRC.
There
is a vaccine that has been tested. This is the Invamine vaccine, which is a vaccine already licensed in the United States of America and approved by the Advisory Committee on Immunization Practice. It is being tested here with us in the DRC, and at the appropriate time by the competent authority, the conclusions will be given to you in connection with preventive measures.
Until the vaccine is approved by the WHO, prevention is done through awareness messages in endemic regions. It is strongly advised not to come into contact with animals thought to be carriers of monkeypox, such as monkeys, rats, squirrels, and others. Since the resurgence of monkeypox in 10 provinces of the DRC, there have been more than 2,200 reported cases and nearly 100 deaths. That is according to the Ministry of Health.
Professor Dimie Ogoina is professor of medicine and infectious diseases at the Niger Delta University. He tells us more about the state of the virus monkeypox in Africa.
The fact that we still have many unknowns about monkeypox is because it was never a problem for the global north. where they have the resources, the know-how, the investment that is required to uncover the gaps and the knowledge gaps associated with monkeypox. It seems that the concept of global solidarity is only in words, but it doesn't reflect in our action. And I always say that the recognition of infectious diseases as the conditions that have no borders, we may assume that because vaccines are available to certain countries or certain regions in the world, that we are protected. But if we neglect the African countries, these pathogens will come back to haunt us. And that's why it is said that the world is a global village. We also need to look at research, addressing the knowledge gaps. Because if we continue this way, and we don't invest in research and development for Africa, for instance, it means that solutions that will be developed will only address the problem for developed countries and not for developing countries. I think the first priority is for us to ensure that we're ready. How is the health system ready to get these vaccines, to distribute them, to store them? What are the issues of vaccine hesitancy? The time we made that observation in 2017, nobody would have ever thought that monkeypox would be transmitted via sexual contact. The traditional knowledge there was that monkeypox was transmitted via animals, and household contacts were predisposed from respiratory droplets. And in that meeting, when I made that presentation and said there's a chance that monkeypox will be transmitted via sexual contact, it was a scientific gathering, and I was opposed. And I was opposed on the basis of the fact that it was not previously known to be transmitted by sexual contact. That was one. Secondly, the information we gave was that because we had high rates of genital ulcers, we were suspecting sexual contact. And the people at the other side felt that genital ulcers or genital rash were also common before now, even from animal exposure. So that's not a good reason to attribute it to sexual contact. Third reason that they had a different view was that we only reported in a few patients, because at the time we made this report, we had just about 21 patients or so in my center. This is an area that we need to explore further. We should not wait for the developed world to bring solutions to us, to bring interventions. So we must take up our responsibility and ensure that we do what is needed to address our problems. And the second thing I want to highlight here is that monkeypox is largely a self-limiting illness. It's not likely to kill, except for some patients that have HIV infection, are not taking medication, have significant immunosuppression for some other reasons. They are at risk of having severe disease that may result in death. So we should not be alarmed. We should not panic. We should not spread falsehood.
What are your thoughts on how the current monkeypox outbreak is being handled? Given the experience globally and with COVID-19, what would you like to see differently with monkeypox? Here are some reactions from Nigeria.
So I think for monkeypox, lessons learned from COVID experience, monkeypox should be different. Why? Because the citizens should have access to information as it when due. And there should be portals where people can reach out to say, this is what I'm experiencing, this is what I'm observing in my community, how do I report these issues, and all of that. And as much as possible, there should be openness. What are the symptoms? What is monkeypox? Where did monkeypox come from? Such questions, and then what are the preventive measures of monkeypox? So I think if the citizens have these informations, it will dose down rumor mongering. It will dose down lack of trust.
I wouldn't say it's satisfactory because a whole lot of the responses were basically lopsided. It was politicized in the most part. A lot of people did not have the proper information. And even when there were vaccines, really, there was very little awareness and availability. And with the monkeypox, I think the majority of the populace really do not even know that there's a pandemic or an epidemic, rather, called monkeypox yet. So there's little really going on by way of sensitization. I'd like to see that the government steps up, sensitization, and then also there should be emphasis on preventives. Putting out quality information out there and ensuring that the right information goes to the right people and not also just a set of people. It should be widespread, the rural areas, people who are not literate.
So I think for me, if there's one thing we should do differently, right, as a society or as government, is really being responsive and act even before it gets here, right? Before it gets that serious. Because over time, one thing that government does, even with COVID, was that, oh, we heard there was COVID in some place in China, right? It was a rumor until it became, a reality in Nigeria. So it's really been responsive, right? And government really acting on their toes and not let things happen before we want to now, begin to react or stop it.
Now to West Africa, where a drop-in clinic in Senegal's capital, Dakar, is offering free opioid substitution to people who inject drugs, with the goal to reduce the spread of HIV. Take a look.
This is a special unit at the Fan Hospital in Dakar, commonly known as CPIAD. The drop-in clinic provides an opioid substitution therapy program to people with drug addiction. CPIAD aims to lower the spread of HIV by reducing the risk of engaging in risky behaviors such as needle sharing and unprotected sex. 250 people are currently receiving treatment.
Methadone is a medicine that acts as a heroin substitute. In our case, it's a syrup dosed in 10 milligram portions. Doses vary from patient to patient.
Country data shows that the infection rate of HIV in Senegal is about 0.5%. The rate jumps to 9% among people who inject drugs. Most patients are men, but the center is working to enroll more women in the program. UNAIDS says one adolescent girl is infected with HIV every 2 minutes globally.
I go out into the community and visit my peers to raise awareness about getting off drugs and reducing health risks. So I refer them to CEPIAD, CEPIAD, and they can, like me, stop using drugs.
In addition to HIV services, CPIAD has become a screening and diagnostic center for tuberculosis and hepatitis. It also offers psychosocial support and other wellness services.
I'm here to take my treatment, and I am a tailor.
Gardening is like a type of therapy. When we are here, we forget our problems.
While drug use is illegal in Senegal, CPIAD has the support of the government as well as other organizations like the Global Fund and UNAIDS.
British scientists are researching a way to increase the supply of kidneys available for transplants by altering the blood type of the organ. Let's take a look.
Chronic kidney disease has meant that Aisha Edmondson hasn't been able to work or spend time outside the house as much as she wants to. She's waiting for a kidney transplant, which could take up to 10 years.
During the pandemic, that's when I was told that I had 12 months to find a living kidney donor. And although I already knew that my condition was heading that way, it was still a bit of a shock, because I think that no matter how much you prepare, when you get a news like that, it's tough.
Researchers at the University of Cambridge have successfully altered the blood type of 3 donor kidneys. The research means that kidneys of different blood types could be made compatible for transplants if the donor kidney has its blood type altered to O, the universal blood type. Scientists took the oxygenated blood out of the donor kidney and then put blood infused with enzymes back in. This results in the kidney being converted to type O blood. A clinical trial hasn't yet been conducted. According to the National Health Service, 9% of total organ donations came from Black and ethnic minorities from 2020 to 2021.
People from ethnic minority backgrounds on average wait a year longer to receive a kidney transplant than people from a Caucasian background. So again, if this research helps to redress that balance, that would be absolutely fantastic.
Dr. McMahon's research will be published in the British Journal of Surgery later this year, and she wants to address minorities who might not be willing to donate.
That's our show for today. For more health news, wellness tips, and medical breakthroughs, stay connected to Voice of America at voaafrica.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Linoch Moudou. Until next time, stay well and strive to make every day a healthy day.